but that's in writing in
Yeah.
guide on glossy pages. And Scott's hoping he had to pay for those rather than just get free ones.
Okay, it's a little different.
I have nothing to do with that.
I don't either.
They asked me to go down and my wife's got something tonight.
Yeah, well,
Could be on there. Yeah, it would have been. I don't know what name it's under.
Well, the assessor should have it in his records. Your assessor.
exactly, and that's on the email. He already told me.
Yeah, just,
Well, people call me all the time. That's not
want to
unusual.
buy a ticket to Pancake Day? Well,
There aren't always people in my towns either. They're,
first prize is 400.
ask me questions.
Second is 150. Down in Richford. Day. Huh? No, you don't get no free pancake. You just get a chance to win. Get them all together or not?
Go there and spend all
Want some or not? $5 for 6. For $1 a piece. For $1 a piece.
And he runs the country as a booklet.
You got your tickets for Richford Pancake Day?
But he used to be a salesman at West Side Garage.
Well, I don't care. I told Joyce I'd try to sell some. That's all. $5. 6 tickets for $5.
I get some with my daughter and son.
Probably not.
So I went over and I talked to him and introduced myself. He said, I love
Let me look. Let me look. Let me look.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
They are.
On Marcus.
4, 5. Not many. There's only 20 and 4 singles. You want to get them tomorrow? All right. You want some, Jerry, or aren't you interested in tomorrow? Okay. That sounds good. At least I tried. I'll ask. You know how Joyce is, how persistent. How many are you going to sell this year, Wadle? This is how many you got. I'll start you out with 5 or 10 booklets. If you need more, let me know. Oh, okay. What's that?
My goodness, I'll come to you.
Yeah, you got some? Well, if you get some, let me know. I always buy them. Help support people a little bit.
Oh, yeah, but you're on the.
Talking to ending up right there.
Huh?
I think I remember.
That's the new guy. That's the new guy. Barry Mastercole. I know of him. Probably had him as a student.
I don't know what department. No one has roof.
What did he say his name
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Right, he must be, but he can't be over.
Whoa, so sad. Wow.
Yeah.
Is this 7?
Remember.
Old, middle 50s.
Campaign to get people to read.
He's about our age, Pat. A little younger, maybe. 50-ish. Middle 50s, maybe.
I would say. I remember.
Randy, is there any order you want?
Don't know. No, my twins.
I'll just pull them up and you'll talk about it? Okay.
Okay.
Randy's good. He'll just wing it. Good deal.
That's hits from Oshkosh.
That old Joe Spotso, probably.
This guy here was at our Wisconsin Towns meeting the other day.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. Okay, I am, at this time, I am going to ask Barry Mastercola if he would serve as Joe Piaski's replacement. And we need, I've asked him and he said he would do it. Okay. We have a motion to.
I'll second.
And a second. All right. Are there any questions or comments? Do you want to hear anything from Barry? We have his resume that he provided for us. Thank you. And so, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And now we will have a swearing in. take over, be on the same committees that Joe was on. I don't know them all right off the top of my head. I know he was on zoning and land and water and extensions, so Barry is just gonna fill Joe's, the remainder. Thank you very much, welcome.
Thank you very much. The entire board, thank you all.
Now we'll have roll call.
Mrs. Krantz. Here. Mr. Heisey.
Here.
Mr. Tim.
Here.
Master Cola.
Here.
Mr. Eckstein.
Here.
Mr. Weddy.
Here.
Mrs. Clum.
Here.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Wadle.
Here.
Mr. Rothermel.
Here.
Mark Kirschner.
Here.
Now we'll stand for silent prayer and pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have the agenda in front of us and we need a motion.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Motion by Weddy. Second by Bernadette. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We need to approve the minutes of the January 20th, 2015 monthly meeting.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion by Weddy, second by Eckstein. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have public comments, and we have one person wishing to address the board, and that would be Deborah Willis from Ripon. Hi, Deborah.
Hi. A month ago, I had the opportunity to come here and offer up the gift of 1,000 trees to the community and to the Parks Department. That was very well received. I was rather well rehearsed in that little announcement. I barely have chicken scratch down here tonight, but I did want to update you folks about what's going on. And Scott Schumann and I and the DNR were able to take a hike up the hill a couple weeks ago and start to think about putting a plan together. A week ago, the organization We Share County met with interested community members, and we took their input as to put it all into a pile and start working out our plan. We also, Scott and I were on the agenda at the Public Works meeting and were able to answer any questions at that time that the board had. We are planning on meeting again at the Public Works meeting at the end of the month, and the DNR will be present and provide us with some more specific thoughts as to how we could get the trees in the ground as quickly as April. And just to know that that plan is going to be working towards a bigger plan, but we have to kind of move quickly here to get these trees in. Okay. Oh, I wanted to let you know that we have decided it's probably very prudent to work with 500 trees this time around. 1,000 is quite a bit. I don't know that we're going to nail it at 100%. We'll get them all in, I know that, but the anonymous donor is generous enough to let us have the 500 trees for the following year. And so we will just continue to improve on how we can get this together and make it go smoothly and have it fit into a bigger project. I would like to offer up to anybody who is interested to encourage any organizations that you may know of that would find this a worthwhile project. It's such a great opportunity for the community. I don't think I was barely out the door last month when I was approached by someone from the school district who is involving the after-school program. Suggestions have been made that possibly the veterans would like to be involved. We talked about the Boy Scouts support lunch group and anything like that. As much as I love this community, I am not living in this community right now. I'm a landowner, and so I don't feel really greatly connected to people. So anyone I call, I'm kind of cold calling. So I am looking for assistance in that department. I any thoughts, ideas, leads, any of that, I'd be happy to hear it. And I hope it was appropriate for me to come in and do this tonight. It's really not a comment, it's more a thank you and to let you know that you're all working together. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
The only thing I ask is that you don't do it on the last Saturday in April.
I know, but you know, Mother Nature, do you want to say why?
Yes, that is the date for the Jailbreak Marathon, and so I think you'll have better luck getting, volunteers if you stay away from that date.
And that weather is never good that day. It's always cold and windy.
Yes.
Certainly.
I don't know these things, I don't live here yet, but we did talk about that the project will probably get split up into two segments, so that we can take some very aggressive tree planting people, get them in, get the bulk of the trees in, and then we're planning on having another day where the schools and other organizations can participate and have it be more of a fun day of everyone coming together and all that. And the opportunities for helping out are somewhat unlimited. It's not just about, you don't have to have a strong back to get a tree, and you can sit there and serve lemonade to those that are doing that. So, thanks, Ashley.
Thank you very much. All right, we are going on to old business, and we have a discussion and possible motion action item on the courthouse entrances and door replacement.
We did get my memo that had sent back in December regarding this issue. In fact, although I would like to say, okay,
Sure.
so in the memo, there were two options that were put forth by the security committee, and the first option is that the front of the house entrance would still be open and the handicap entrance would be open, but the entrance between the north annex and the courthouse would be closed, and we would close in the alcove here on the handicap entrance to make that a little bit different. And then the second option would be that everything would be left the same. When we discussed this at Buildings and Grounds this month, their recommendation is actually that we keep all three entrances open, but we do make the structural changes to the handicap entrance. So that alcove would be enclosed, and the doors that are currently underneath the awning would come out to the side. And so then those would be the doors that go in, and then there would still be the doors that come into the building. There would be a little bit of heat conservation there, plus it would also free up that space if in the future there was a decision to be made to go to a single entrance with a security station, then that would be able to happen. Those doors have to be replaced anyways, so the Buildings and Grounds Committee was recommending after their meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody on the committee, that be closed off at this point in time, but then all of the entrances remain open, the three that are currently still continue.
I think Randy planned on showing some pictures to better visualize what he's proposing, so maybe Randy, if you want to.
Dawn had some comments too, so.
Yeah, this is the north entrance by Deb's office, and these two doors are two of the doors that we're looking to replace. But in the process, we're also looking at taking the bottom half of all the lower windows and the doors and putting an insulated panel in there, and use an insulated glass in the rest of them. Actually, the far right two panels would be
for Randy. So what we're showing and what we've talked about is option 2, correct?
Well, except that with the alcove on the south, the elevator entrance changed.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be being pushed off.
yeah.
Randy, the main doors, right down in the front of the building, those are to remain as they are? So, on the old part of the? Yes. Yes, that is all staying, yes, we're not touching them. I believe, you know, it's something with historical buildings, so we have to get permission to do stuff with them also.
And we're not
Yeah.
having the problem with the rust because of the wood and
Yeah.
how they're built.
And they're underneath protected areas, so.
Any other questions for Randy?
Do you have any kind of a ballpark in the back of your mind, Randy?
I'm thinking, you know, maybe 50,000.
Yeah,
somewhere there.
I would bet, yeah.
Maybe even a little more.
Okay.
And it is in his budget because we knew the project was coming up. And you handle all this work yourself, yeah, yeah.
No, we would have somebody else do it, yes.
Under Randy's watchful eye.
So really, the decision that you guys have to make is whether you want those doors to remain open to the public or if you want them closed, the one by my office.
And Dawn, I think, wanted to address you with that. Thanks, Randy.
Deb, do you mind going back to that first picture that he had?
The very first one?
Yes.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about, so that's the door that we're talking about. One of the things regarding security that I did ask Randy about, if you do move forward with the project, we would still be able to see who's at that door from that landing up there, is what Randy had said, so I thought that was good, especially in the evening hours. Sometimes we have staff that are still here, or someone's at that door, or for whatever reason, it'd be nice to still be able to see who's out there and who would be able to. From a human services perspective, certainly we are concerned about safety and security within the building. That being said, we would not be in favor of these doors being locked at this time for a number of reasons. First of all, we get a lot of traffic in these doors during the daytime hours. It's right across the street is the North Annex, and that's where public health is, EMS, a lot of our human services, including mental health services, child and family services are right across the street, and we have a lot of traffic going back and forth to our offices that are right upstairs there in the courthouse, straight as you go up those stairs. It would be a pretty significant inconvenience for some of our clients, and a lot of our clients do have other barriers such as mental illnesses or low functioning. We can certainly help usher in change if that's what the board decides to do, but it'd be a change for them, and for some of them it would be a significant change, and I just wanted to make you aware of that. Also, I think that because we have so much traffic going back and forth there during the day, that staff, if we did fob it, first of all, I think that's going to be an extra expense for the county. But secondly, staff I just really believe they're going to let people in anyway when they're coming over, or else they're going to be just in an awkward position of saying no to the public that might be standing right there trying to get in and who's used to going into that door. So I think that's going to happen as well. Also, with the two other entrances, if we do close this one, you're going to have a lot more of our clientele walking around in the courthouse to get to our services, whereas here they can just enter, go up the stairs, and go right to human services. And that's where all our economic support services are. We do have Dr. Patel there all day on Tuesdays. We have some other case management for some of our mentally ill and folks that are dealing with addictions. So just so you're aware, that would be a consequence if those doors were locked. And then finally, again, if the board did decide to do that and wanted to increase security, of course we would go along with that and do the best we can. I just fear that closing that one entrance probably isn't going to fix the issue, because you're still going to have the main entrance and you're still going to have the entrance by the elevators, which won't be secured and are still pretty significantly distant from each other. So I guess I just wanted to let you guys know some of the issues that would likely occur if you decided to go ahead and lock those up, and that our department's not in favor of that at this time. Any
Do you have any
questions?
questions for Dawn?
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to go with keeping the 3 doors open and go with Randy's recommendation on the replacement of doors.
Thank you, Russ. Motion by Russ, second by Everett. Is there any further discussion or comments?
Just clarify with you, Russ, that was to enclose the handicap entrance, that alcove?
Yep.
Okay.
What Randy had talked about, Randy, removing doors, replacing doors, all what Randy had talked about, yep.
Okay.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, you have a question?
I do think that in the future, we're gonna have to look at something, maybe down the road, maybe if this isn't really the time, because of what happened here a couple weeks ago. I mean, we were fortunate and everything else, and our sheriff's department did an excellent job, and one of the people is sitting here. And I really do think that eventually this is gonna have to come down to a one-entrance type place eventually, because of the fact of what's going on out here in our society today. So I just want to make that known. If we don't do anything now, we need to think about that in the future and budget for it or whatever.
And that's one of the reasons why we are moving those doors out, so that eventually
Good
down
idea.
the road, those doors will be moved out on that first picture for the handicap doors. That'll be moved out, so if we have to do something later on, then we have that ready to go. Any other questions? Okay, we need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, now we have new business, and that is reports and presentations, and the zoning and land conservation annual report, and that's Director Terry Puckstead. And Barry really has to listen, because this is
I'll turn this on so you can hear me. Well, 2014 was a pretty busy year for us. We made over 1,200 field visits to various properties around the county. We did 311 sanitary system inspections, 17 on-site soil verifications, and about 500 what we now call code non-compliance investigations. We've gotten rid of the word violation. 71 annual travel trailer inspections. That's how many travel trailers are permitted by conditional use at the moment. 187 landowner requested information visits, and we assigned 79 address numbers. General activity remained about the same in 2014 as it was in 2013. It seems like we're busier because I think every permit takes longer. I've decided that even though we're not increasing the number of permits, it seems like everything takes time. But because it kind of leveled off, hopefully it's going to stay that way, or we'll have some slow growth over the next few years. There were 394 land use permits for 150 new homes or additions to homes, and 244 accessory buildings. IIL is our current contracted inspection agency for the building permits, and they issued permits for 68 new homes. When I say new homes, remember that a lot of new homes to us means they tore the old home down and then built a new one, so it might not be a totally new site. 63 commercial structures, 64 additions to homes, 118 electrical installations or upgrades, and 76 miscellaneous permits for a total of 389 permits, which resulted in over $153,000 in fees that they collected. Assistance for construction site erosion control was provided by our staff to 103 landowners. 29 on-site visits were made to help landowners with standard and individual plans relative to erosion control, and those are normally on a little bit more difficult sites, our waterfront properties. And they also did stormwater management consultation on those sites. We issued 157 sanitary permits, authorizing 48 new private on-site wastewater treatment systems and 109 replacement systems or reconnections to existing systems. And as you can see, the number of replacement systems has remained fairly steady. It's the new system numbers that have fluctuated the most from year to year. Mandatory septic maintenance is an ongoing project in our office. Last year we sent 2,949 notices out.
We got pretty good compliance because we only issued 22 citations, and our overall compliance rate was 99.7%. The Wisconsin Fund Grant Program benefited 2 property owners for a total of $12,425. As a side note, that's one of the things that is slated to be eliminated in the governor's budget. Obviously, we don't get a lot of money, but it was helpful to those property owners that could use it. This winter, we finished our inventory, and we have cataloged just under 12,000 private on-site wastewater treatment systems in the county. We're on target to send out maintenance notices to all the systems by the state mandated deadline of 2019. We didn't, and we're still not going to send them all out at once because that would be kind of difficult for the pumpers, so we're still ratcheting up to sending them all out by 2019 so that everyone can get caught up with that service. There were 237 code noncompliance inquiries made to our office. 228 actual investigations then took place, and they were brought into compliance, and 138 situations are still pending. We're having a little more difficulty getting cooperation. It seems like some of the repeat customers aren't quite as willing to clean things up, but these can range from, you know, junk cars to unoccupied travel trailers to failing septics, shoreline disturbances, as you can see down in the right-hand corner, building without permits, things like that. And if you ever have a question about any activity that's going on and you think they should have a permit and you don't see one, or you have a question about how the code might relate, be sure to give us a call. We'd be happy to check it out. For non-metallic mining, we have 17 non-metallic mining sites currently, and that means that relates to about 205 unreclaimed or active acres. The annual inspection fees brought in just over $3,000, and last year we had 1.61 acres that were certified as reclaimed. It's another state mandated program that is operated out of our office, and what it really means is, you know, you can certainly have a gravel pit, but once you open it up, at the end of its useful life, you're going to have to return it to some other use, and it's much safer than having sheer cliffs and stuff like that. Technical staff also provides assistance for erosion control, stormwater management, and revegetation of shorelines. In 2014, staff developed a total of 12 plans. There was 4 detailed erosion control plans for difficult construction sites and 8 detailed revegetation stormwater management plans. And these are photos from actual sites that were restored in Waushara County. Some of them are a couple years old. The lower right-hand corner is Pearl Lake Resort and the condominiums that were built there. So if you remember that, that was a pretty sandy, barren site. So it looks much better now with the revegetation. We're continuing to work on the Lakes Grant project. We're in phase 3, which is the lake management planning part of it. Our department, along with UW-Stevens Point, UW Extension, and DNR, host a series of 4 meetings for each lake group. These are held for all the lakes that have public access in Waushara County. Planning began in October of 2013 and will continue through 2016. Late in the year, the very first one, Bu's Lake Management Plan, was approved by DNR and the Lake Management District. 6 more plans are complete and currently pending approval of DNR, and 9 more are in various stages of development. Following this, both the county and the town boards will be asking you to look at least referencing these in the comprehensive plan so that it helps those lake management groups get grant funding. With the Soil and Water Resource Management Program, we secured $40,000 from the state for what they call hard practices. These are usually manure storage facilities, water runoff systems, something that you physically build on the property. That's why it's called a hard practice. And we also had an additional $10,000 was slated for nutrient management. Josh has been pretty active in getting people to sign up for nutrient management. So at the end of the year, there was extra money in Kewaunee County. So we got another $11,500 from Kewaunee County to sign people up for nutrient management. And to date, a total of 30,832 acres in Waushara County are covered by nutrient management plans. The Water Quality Improvement Program passed its 3-year trial period, and this fall you guys approved it to be a line item in our budget. It's $25,000 a year. It helps offset some of those decreasing funds that we saw on the previous slide to provide cost share for worthy conservation projects in the county that do not rank high enough for state or federal funding. I had to show you this one because I thought this one was pretty unique. The top picture was the way that the cattle used to be watered. They would actually go down and go in the stream. Obviously that led to some water quality issues. That was the only water available to them. So that was fenced off, and they put in something called a jug. And I kept saying, so how does this work again? And when the cow puts its mouth in there, it's almost like a straw. And when it starts to drink, it sucks the water out through the tube that there's a well in the barn that feeds it. And it takes just a little bit of heat to keep it open all winter. So I know there was a lot of consternation that this was not going to work, and it works beautifully. So I thought I'd show you that one. That was a good project, and it didn't cost very much. So
which one of your staff had to train the cows?
they know. They're like little hamsters, you know. They know. We still partner with Golden Sands Resource Conservation and Development on the Aquatic Invasive Species Grant Program. They are very popular with our lake groups around the county, and they help riparian landowners identify and then learn how to remove invasive species on their own. And they also work with area lake groups for the Clean Boats, Clean Waters stations. This is an example of them trying to remove common reed canary grass. And hand pulling is a very effective thing to start with, but then you can see Casey on the right is obviously pouring chemical on them too to finish it up. We did have to update our farmland preservation plan. I apologize that you had to do it twice, but that's the way DATCAP made us do it. But that now will allow farmers in the county to apply for tax credits if they meet all of the qualifications. So that was finished up at the end of the year. One of our more popular programs is the Conservation Field Days. It'll be our 8th annual one this May. Nope, 8th annual one was last year. We had 188 fifth graders from all the public schools in Waushara County, as well as private school and homeschooled children attend. This has been increasingly funded by donations and is staffed primarily by volunteers, in addition to our departmental staff. If you would like to come out and see this program, if you want to volunteer to be a group leader, if you want to give us $10 to help put it on or whatever, we'd be happy to take it. This year it's planned for May 7th and 8th at Camp Lucerne, and they have, I think there's 6 stations that they all go to. And then the last session is the Raptor group comes down from Anago. It's the same one that rehabilitated the eagle that they got here in Waushara County and then released it. So it's really a good program. Give us a call. We'll sign you out. We also contract with the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, or APHIS, to run the Wildlife Damage and Abatement and Claims Program. Because we administer it, we do get a small administrative fee out of that. It's a DNR program. Deer damage payable losses in 2014 totaled over $19,000, and it went to 7 qualified claimants for deer damaged crops. There are 11 total enrollees. They issued 10 shooting permits, and what that means is that 10 landowners got shooting permits and harvested 72 deer through that program. This also covers the deer donation program, and 39 deer were donated to area processing plants last year, and that yielded 1,374 pounds of ground venison that stays local in our food pantries. And that's kind of a summary of what we do. You know, we certainly try to provide the best service that we can, and if you ever have any questions about our programs or the services we provide, please give us a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Building and Grounds Annual Report by Superintendent Randy Ramsey.
Randy, I'm sorry, did you have a?
No, I did
Okay,
not.
all right.
Last year, I had a change in staff going from 2 600-hour-a-year casual employees down to 1 1,000-hour-a-year casual employee. The reason being one quit and the other one retired at the age of 80. Some of the projects that we were involved with last year, the first one was upgrading of the pneumatic controls for the fan coil units, air handling unit, and the air conditioner to DDC or direct digital controls at the North Annex. The old controls and control panel were failing. They were falling apart, and we just were taping the hoses onto it because pneumatics, they were controlled by air. So now with the new electric controls, we can eliminate the air compressor, which ran about every 5 or 7 minutes, so there should be a savings there. Also, the system is tied into my computer, so I can monitor and control it from my computer like we do out to the jail. Another project last winter, due to the extreme cold, our drain off of this part of the roof, there's 4 roof drains up there, and this half, the drain pipe froze underneath the ground going outside under the parking lot, and so the water backed up, and we leaked in this corner, and we also leaked in on the zoning department here. I came in the morning, opened up, and the water was running off the, through into this room here. So we took sub pumps and pumped the roof off what we could, and then we went down, and thank heavens in the basement, the drain isn't in the wall all the way, it's inside the room, so we drilled a hole in there, and the pressure from that high up was enough that at that side the wall, a 1/4-inch hole, it shot this far over, and that, so we got a garbage can and drained it into there, and then we had sub pumps going down into the boiler room, which that drain was not froze up, so we could get rid of the water. The thing we did then was get the roofers back and replace these roof drains, because at the time the old piping is different than the new, so they just stuck the drains inside the roof in the pipe. Well, that's fine just about every year, but with it backing up, it just ran out. So now it's sealed, so that should eliminate that problem. We installed an exhaust fan into the ambulance garage to help remove excessive hot summer air, diesel exhaust, and bring in fresh air. The exhaust fan is located in the ceiling, and the fresh air comes in on the other side of the garage. When the exhaust fan's on, it's piped down to the floor where the diesel exhaust hangs, and so it draws from the floor up. There's a thermostat that controls it, and we installed it according to code, so everything's copacetic there. We rekeyed all the North Annex interior doors. The keys that were there either didn't work, or the keys that worked opened doors and stuff that weren't supposed to for security reasons, so we changed the whole key system over there. We set it up accordingly to the department heads, what they wanted and stuff, and so now that is all new and hopefully secure. Highway cracked, filled, and patched the parking lots and driveways at the courthouse, North Annex, and the East Huber parking lots, and by the museum. Farner then came in and seal coated on the weekends and took care of that. It was scheduled for the year before, but because of all the construction in town here and that stuff, and they were driving on our street and stuff, we decided to postpone it a year. The biggest project of the year was the courthouse basement ventilation upgrade. We replaced fiberboard ducts with metal ducts. They were blown apart, and so the air was going up in the ceiling rather than into the rooms where it was meant to go. So the halls and demonstration room ceilings were totally tore down, grid work and all, but in the offices they could run the piping through without taking the grid down. We just replaced the ceiling tiles. When it was done, we had a air balancer come in and make sure that all the rooms balanced, so they are 90% efficient, so they're getting the air they're supposed to. The last project was to repair the courthouse building copper gutters outside. Several of the seams keep leaking all the time, and I've tried patching. We've had people in, and they just don't seem to seal. They've been coated so many times. So this Musa sheet metal company came in, and they removed all the tar and coverings on there, and they soldered all the joints, or overlaid the joints with copper and soldered them. They started in October and finished in mid-November, and we're wondering why they had issues with wind and cold. Couldn't get the tanks or the burner to stay heating. So that was our projects for last year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Randy. Did anyone have any questions for Randy? Thank you so much, Randy. Treasurer's Office Annual Report, County Treasurer Elaine Wago.
My staff involves Jean Armstrong and Jessica Yeager, and we are responsible for the management of the county funds by receiving and accounting for the monies received from taxpayers, county departments, and government agencies. And we also, every 2 weeks, distribute the employee pay stubs as well as the general voucher checks. And we maintain tax billing and collection history records for any review. And we also invest the county funds not immediately needed. Ensure that they are safe and secure and liquid, and they have a return. This is a record of our receipts that come through the Treasurer's Office. The general receipts are the ones that come from the various departments. Then there are the county tax receipts and the redemption receipts for the older year's taxes. The county tax receipts are the current year tax receipts, and then in February we have the tax settlements, and the wire transfers are monies that are brought in from the state pool as needed. Tax delinquencies, that varies. This year it seems to be better as far as delinquencies. More are being paid, and they are delinquent for various reasons, depending on the economy and what is happening with the taxpayers. Mortgage companies are now requiring escrows, and so that means that that they are seeing that the taxes are paid, and the bank foreclosures, of course, we retrieve the tax monies there. And that is just a breakdown of the notices that we send out. We send them out twice a year, in April and in October, and each from 13 to 14 they're down a slight amount. And this is the tax deed process. We do a publication, and once that is done, when they are eligible, we proceed to have a title company do a title search, and then there's a preparation of all the notices, and it's sent by certified mail to the anyone having an interest in the property. They have a 90-day response time, which they can pay the taxes, and then the action is done. Otherwise, then there's a resolution if it's going to be going to tax deed, and the county then does a county tax deed, and after the deed is recorded, we have an appraiser put a value, the appraised value on the property, and the publication is then done, and after the 3 notices, we have put out for bids, seal bids, and when they are accepted, then quitclaim deed is done to the new owner, and the final is a calculation of the proceeds. So it's quite a long process to get it to sale. And this is a record of the tax parcels taken in 13. And we still have a few of the properties that are available yet for sale. And our latest adventure was the Wisconsin surplus auction, where we sold one of the properties that we'd had for a couple years. It's an online bidding process. And that is a view of what is shown on the website of the parcels, the information that's there. And the pictures of the parcels, and that is showing the bids, how the bids appear on the website. And we, each month, there's the bank reconciliation is completed. We have a 24/7 access to the county's account to view all of the banking information, ACH. And the first dollar credit is a credit on any improved property, real estate in the county. Each parcel or improved property has a credit, and also the lottery and gaming is for primary residents on the property. This is a view of the tax settlement process. Each year, start a new year, and January settlement is completed after the collection ending in December. We have I think the next slide is a copy of the January settlement. When I get the information from each municipality, that settlement statement is prepared, and payments are distributed to each entity that has a levy. Next is the February settlement. Now, when the local treasurers send in their tax information either on a CD or a thumb drive, or the latest is the RCT through the internet, where I can download their information directly into the system. And this is a breakdown of their figures and how the levy is shown there, and the collections, how that all is distributed. And that's just an analysis of the division of the different areas where the collections were done. And that is a copy of a tax receipt that is prepared for each after settlement, after the February settlement is done. That is, then in April, we received the lottery credit money from the state, and another settlement is done for that portion of the monies that come in. And each entity receives their respective portion of that settlement. This is the final settlement. When the state credit money state school credit money comes in and the first dollar credit, then a final settlement is completed, and that is by August 15th. We do the use value conversion when we are notified by the assessor that a agricultural parcel has been, acreage from a parcel has been converted to a non-farming use, and there is a one-time conversion charge that goes with the acreage involved. And this is the web portal where that information, all the tax information is available on the website, and they can see if there are delinquent taxes, as well as the assessed value, permits, I believe, are also available through the website. And this is, they are also able to use credit cards and make payments of taxes through the web portal. There is a fee, of course, for doing that of 2.39% that goes with that, but that is available to the public. Any questions?
We'll have consideration of possible action on the following resolutions.
Resolution number 6-2-15, resolution authorizing sufficient staff for the jail facility.
Jeff, do you want to come up and kind of explain that a little bit?
What the resolution before you is a staffing agreement between the county board and the sheriff. Under the Department of Corrections rules, we have a part of our jail that we can allow double bunking, or we can put more people into an area than what would normally be. But in order to have that, we have to have a staffing agreement between you folks and myself. Previous sheriff rescinded an agreement that was in place, and we're bringing this back to allow us a capacity of 127 beds in our facility, and that's what this is for. Did I state it correct?
Yes, it does not increase the staff. This is the current staff that you've already authorized, so it's just
It's a procedure for the Department of Corrections to allow us to maximize the use of our facility.
By Eckstein to approve, second by Kirschner. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next, we have resolution number 70215.
Resolution amending resolution number 36-10-14, authorizing the addition of a full-time detective position.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? We've changed this a little in Ruthville.
So basically, you had previously approved the adoption of a new detective position. It would be under the umbrella of the sheriff's department, but would be assigned to the district attorney's office and human services to do sensitive crimes investigation follow-up. There's a statute that allows that position to be directly under the district attorney's office. And so what we're asking is just to change that resolution, so it will no longer be under the sheriff's department, it will be under the district attorney's office, but it'll still be doing the same job. The money has been previously budgeted for, so that's the change. Instead of having 3 bosses, the person will have 2 bosses.
Are there any questions? Any more
Yes.
questions? We don't need a.
No, because the money's already.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. Deb and I attended the legislative conference in Madison last week, and of course, they're talking about sending state prisoners out to local jails, which is probably going to make it bigger.
That was discussed at one of the sheriff's meetings.
Yes, right, so, but what I wanted to talk to you about is, April is local government month again, and, I got something from NACO, as well as Wisconsin Counties Association has put out a PowerPoint and a threefold, deal, and I thought it might be nice if some of you wanted to volunteer to maybe go to the schools and present, if they're willing, or if they want us there. And it just explains what local government does, and I thought it was well put on. They did a good job with their PowerPoint, and they have a thing to follow here, so you can explain it, to the students. And so if anybody is interested in doing that, Wisconsin Counties Association is putting this on their website, so you can download it, or you can look at it and, and see if that's something that you want to do. I thought it might be a good idea. I thought I would try and, get a hold of a couple of the schools and see if, they want me to go in. So I think it'd be great. Larry, you're a teacher, Dennis is a teacher. But, it might be something nice to, do a little hands-on with the students and let them know what the county does. So, anyway, just a suggestion. But I hope you'll take it. Not really. Okay, do you have any suggestions for future agenda items? All right, Everett, you're on.
Second.
A motion is second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Your IT guy.
He just doesn't like to delete anything. He's always afraid somebody's going to want it. They're all their tools. They're all their